they did it. When you look back at the history of the Los Alamos Lab and the Manhattan Project and Robert Oppenheimer and all those guys, that's a story everybody knows. At least everybody who's interested in that stuff knows it. This is the drama of what it took to build the atomic bomb, to build all this stuff. It is a relatively easy story to tell. The drama of learning how to throw this stuff away once we have built it is equally riveting, equally fascinating, but it is a story that is somewhat harder to tell, in part because it's a really sensitive subject. Nobody wants to look like they need help, right? Nobody wants to look like they can't handle something on their own. No country wants to look like it has built itself a problem that it cannot manage to fix without help. But these problems do get fixed. We do clean this stuff up. We specifically do clean this stuff up. Americans do. In terms of nuclear cleanup and locking up loose nukes, we have done it in the former Soviet Union. We have done it in Russia itself. We have done it even in places like freaking Mexico City. We did a show from Mexico City last year showing the United States helping Mexico get its highly enriched uranium taken out of that country so that it wouldn't end up on the black market and turn into a nuclear bomb or a dirty bomb somewhere down the road. We do this kind of work of locking down all this dangerous stuff all over the world. It is an international problem, but it is one that has our name on it. And not because it's our fault, not because we caused this problem, but because we have taken the lead role in fixing it. American exceptionalism? Yes. On this issue, we have shown exceptional world leadership. And it has redounded to our own safety and to the safety of the world. And it is not exactly the same thing with chemical weapons as compared to nuclear weapons, but it is close. Turns out we are particularly great at destroying chemical weapons, in part because we've had so much practice. We had so many chemical weapons that we have destroyed that we've gotten good at it. President Richard Nixon is the one who stopped us making chemical weapons back in 1969. But before he stopped us making them, we developed quite an arsenal. Tens of thousands of tons of VX and sarin and mustard gas. We started finally destroying it all in the 1990s. In places like Johnston Atoll and in Anniston, Alabama, and at the Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland, at the Pine Bluff Arsenal. We are still in the process of destroying our chemical weapons in Pueblo, Colorado, and at a facility at the Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond, Kentucky. The local press there noted this week that they are handling VX munitions that are so dangerous that, quote, a drop of VX the size of George Washington's eye on a quarter is enough to kill a healthy 180-pound man within seconds. Between that and sarin, at Bluegrass, Kentucky alone, you've got 433 tons of that terrifying stuff stored there in preparation for it being destroyed. There's another 90 tons of blistering mustard gas. Our national arsenal of this stuff was huge. There was a ton of it, but it is now mostly destroyed. It has taken a long time to destroy it, but it is now mostly gone. The only country that had as much as us, even more than us, was the Soviet Union. But the process of getting rid of this stuff, whether it's over there or over here or anywhere else in the world where the stocks have been eliminated, it's a known process. It is knowable and it is known. We have experience with it. It is being done. It is underway. And like with nuclear materials and loose nukes and nuclear contamination, this is very touchy stuff. And people don't necessarily always want these stories told, but it is doable. It's technically feasible. Once it is politically possible, it is technically possible. You just put one foot in front of the other. It's a process. You can get there. And Syria started that process today, sending a letter to the United Nations asking to become the world's latest signatory to the Chemical Weapons Convention. And that starts a timetable, wherein once they sign, they've got 30 days to declare to the United Nations all of their stocks of chemical weapons. Once they are declared, there's another time frame in which those weapons have to be inspected. Trained chemical weapons inspectors who have done this in all the countries that have gotten rid of their chemical weapons. Trained inspectors will go to the declared sites and essentially do an audit. They compare what they find at those sites to what has been declared. And then this is the really interesting part. Other countries who are members of this convention can then consult their own intelligence about what they think Syria's got. And they can pipe up if they think there are other sites that ought to be inspected that Syria has left off its list. Signing a convention, signing an international compact like this is countries essentially telling each other, we are all in this together. And part of what you are agreeing to when you agree to sign on to that is that the other countries who are signed on to this convention with you, they can ask for challenge inspections. If they think you've got chemical weapons at some site that you haven't owned up to, they can say, I want a challenge inspection at that site. There's never actually been a challenge inspection in the whole history of enforcing this thing on chemical weapons, but there could be one here. We are on new ground here. Can the goal in Syria be reached? And the Obama administration has been saying for the last 3 weeks, since that alleged gas attack outside Damascus, that its main goal, its immediate goal, is to stop any further use of chemical weapons in Syria.